All right, so the squeaky wheel gets the grease, and there's this annuity salesman named Josh Melberg who has these happy, mild-mannered, underhanded sales pitches for annuities. And just like every other insurance salesman out there, who is he targeting? You guessed it, unsophisticated investors who are completely ignorant about bonds and how bonds smooth out stock market volatility. And so he has this article about the mistakes that retirees make. And what does he do? He looks at the performance history of 100% stocks. What is even the purpose of doing this? Because it's absurd. He's clearly preaching to unsophisticated investors who think that their only options are to invest in stocks or park their money in CDs that earn 0 point whatever percent. He's comparing apples to oranges. He's presenting a false choice because when it comes to risk and reward, on the extreme far right, we have 100% stocks, but then on the far left, where it's low risk and low return, we have cash, CDs, annuities, and bonds. Annuities do not compete with 100% stocks. Never have, never will. When it comes to annualized return on investment, annuities, such as immediate annuities, the best quote for a single life with cash refund policy that I found recently was 6.36%. So with $100K in an annuity, you would get $6,360 in fixed payments per year beginning on the retiree's 66th birthday. But 6.36% is not annualized return on investment because the insurance company is simply giving you back your original principal. And if you died at about age 80, your annualized return on investment would be 0 because all the insurance company did was give you back your money and not $1 more, and your heirs get nothing. Or if you died at age 90, your annualized return on investment would be just 2.3%. Or in a best case scenario, your annualized return on investment would be 3.4% if you live to be age 100. And index annuities, a recent study found that all index annuities in their study returned only 3.27% annualized return on investment from 2007 to 2012. But you get the point. Annuities provide paltry, mediocre returns. They're in this low end of the spectrum. And historically, bonds have provided a 5.21% annualized return on investment. So if you're someone who is retired and has no wiggle room for wild stock market-like returns, would you put 100% of your money in stocks? If you're drawing money out each year and depending on your principal to grow steadily so that it can continue to produce income for you? No, that would be insane. You would instead diversify into bonds. Look at this chart that I pulled up. The blue line is the S&P 500 index. The red line is the total U.S. bond market index. One is volatile, the other is slow, boring, and consistent. Gee, imagine if I'm a retiree. What if I mixed the two? What a novel idea. And why didn't Mr. Annuity Salesman suggest this? This would smooth out the stock market volatility that scares me. And by the way, what is the lowest risk bond stock allocation ratio? Should I put 100% in bonds? Well, no, actually, from 1970 to 2010, the lowest risk allocation was 28% stocks and 72% bonds, as demonstrated by this chart. And not only was 2872 the lowest risk, but it provided a higher return than 100% bonds. And guess what? The insurance companies that offer annuities, they are well aware of this because what do insurance companies do with your money when you give it to them? They invest 70 to 90% in bonds. And most of the rest of your money, they invest in stocks. And they have to pay the sales agents who are out there aggressively pushing annuities, their fat, lavish commissions up front. And insurance companies have overhead costs, and insurance companies have to earn a profit. Only what's left gets earmarked for you in their calculations. So what does that tell you? If someone suggests to you that you're going to make out like a bandit or that there's a good chance that you're going to come out the winner with an annuity rather than if you just invested in bonds and stocks. They're feeding you mathematical nonsense. Realistically, the only way your money has a reasonable chance of running down to zero is if you're that idiot who put 100% of your money in stocks in 2008 as you were drawing money out in retirement. And that's why you see these guys pandering to idiots who got slammed in 2009 by the stock market crash. Look what would have happened had they chose a low-risk allocation of 2872 instead. They were up almost 4% in 2009. Look at this chart. Does this look volatile and scary to you? Look at the last 80 years. And if you're looking at 1931 and saying, aha, look at the Great Depression, the stock market of today is not what it was back then for many reasons. Also, back then we had double-digit deflation. In reality, you didn't lose 14.5%. In fact, if you had a 25-75 portfolio, at no point did you lose money when adjusted for, deflation, as is demonstrated by the green line in this chart. But so the best thing about investing on your own in a couple of bond and stock index funds is that history says that your money should grow so that by the time you need that money most, later in life, you should be able to take out more, maybe much more than what some immediate annuity is paying you, and your principal can be left for your heirs to inherit tax-free with stepped-up cost basis. And if you ever need all of that money, it's there for you because you retain your liquidity. Anyway, if you're actually thinking about dumping money into an immediate annuity or any other kind of annuity, I recommend that you watch this video called Why Annuities Are Like Heroin, in which I explain why accepting those high income payments that, for example, immediate annuities offer is a bad thing. Also watch The Stock Market is Going to Crash for a better understanding about why history says that you're not going to run out of money if you diversify and take sensible 4% withdrawals pegged to inflation during retirement.